Sergey,
Yeah.
I'm very, very sorry. We had no sound.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Um,
So people were just seeing us
mouthing.
talking as like,
Yes. So
awesome.
essentially, we're two people, one person short today. Twitch is on holiday, and so we have to do all the technical stuff ourselves. That's
Yeah.
because that's why it's not so
Now
perfect.
like our Twitch professional is on vacation, so as you can see, we are like struggling with all the technical equipment and stuff. So we did a little speech in advance, and we already said it, but it appears that you have only had the visual.
So
presence.
essentially, we were saying that we wanted to talk about a couple of things that were bugging us in the last couple of weeks, like outages, like DDoS attacks,
Yes.
bugs that were in the game. And the main thing is we want to say we're sorry for that. We have done a lot of investigation to find out what was going on there. And for whatever reason, there were just three things coming together. A major release of the assembly,
Yes.
a DDoS attack on one of the servers, and a bug in the way we were handling one item in the assembly system. One item of how many hundred do we have? A couple of hundred.
We have a lot of items. Not all of them are in assembly, but yeah, that was the big issue.
So we have. Where should we start? Let's start chronologically. We ran the assembly test on open beta. We figured out that there were some issues and people were reporting lag and stuff like that, but the reports weren't very clear, and that's why we thought that, okay, maybe it's because of the test server, because the environment there is not 100% as like on the live servers. So we just dismissed that and thought, and we thought that we could release assembly without bigger problems, and gave it to you. And then all of a sudden,
we discovered that there is a problem with the item that we included in assembly recipes, and it took us some time to discover that was the problem. We knew that there was a major like lag problem, but it was very hard for us to nail it down and figure out what exactly was happening when and so on. That's why we have, as we have said before, I believe we are very dependent on a very clear messaging in terms of like, here is what's broken and here is how to break it. Because if we don't know how something was broken, it's very hard for us to figure out how to fix it. So in many cases, when we get additional bug reports from test instances, for example, and somebody writes in the feedback form that I read after every test, something like, everything is broken, nothing works. It's almost like a white noise for us, because it's very hard to deduce what was exactly happening. On the other hand, we also tend to dismiss such stuff. So we are not paying enough attention for, as we have said before, I believe, and we are still kind of like getting there and struggling with that issue, but we are getting better and better, I believe. But still, for us, it's a bit hard to sometimes focus on specific reports and really nail down what is happening. So we were like, okay, everything is fine, seems to be okay, and we released the feature with this broken item, which took some time to figure out and fix. And unfortunately, a lot of other things were happening at the same time.
yeah. So we couldn't see the forest for the trees in some cases. We have to say a huge thank you to the people who reported that. I know that someone was claimed to be the first, but I couldn't really make out
Who is the first messenger?
Yeah, maybe we could introduce a bug hunter achievement.
Why not?
And
I mean, that's a lovely idea. If we figure out that there are people who specifically report awesome bugs, and by awesome I mean things that we can fix, and we with a good reproduction steps, and also things that really help to fix like old bugs in the system, that would be awesome. And I think the achievement is the least we can do for such people.
I just noticed there are a couple of questions about how can a big enterprise network like BigPoints be DDoSed? So to explain a DDoS attack, DDoS means distributed denial of service. That means that one person at least has access to a network of other PCs with a high bandwidth internet connection and is constantly spamming whatever type of requests in the direction of our servers. If you have a network that is unprotected, all these requests will just hit on the servers, and while the server tries to make sense of all that noise that's coming in, it stalls and just crashes. We have two different security providers that are filtering out such enormous spikes in traffic, but it also takes them a couple of minutes to actually react on that. And in the meantime, our servers have to just work through all that noise that has come in the meantime and try to make sense of it. And that may take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, can take longer if the attack is distributed over a wider array of IP addresses. So yes, we are protected, and sadly it's not an instant switch that we can just flick and then everything's good. The security providers are filtering all the traffic that is coming in to us, and then just try to sort out what is the wheat and what is the chaff. Yeah, that happened at the same time as the assembly lag issue, and then of course,
and that basically, like, that introduced an extra layer of difficulty for us, because it was somewhat hard for us to get around the reports which were caused by this issue and which were caused by this DDoS attack. And yeah, well, I don't know, I don't want to sound too like, oh, there is a lot of excuses they are throwing out, but really, like, we did our best, and thanks for sticking with us and waiting patiently until we resolve the issue.
The issues.
Yeah, the issues, yes.
I mean, looking at the chat at the moment, there are questions about losing boosters, drones that switch back to default formations. We had a couple of exploits in the last couple of weeks. So as we talked with Annemieke a couple of weeks ago from our QA department, we are aware of all the bugs because they are reported first by players, discovered, then reported through our volunteer team into our bug system. Then we have a person in-house who's just going through all these reports and trying to make sense of them, reproduce them. By reproducing, this means he's sitting there and trying out the step-by-step instructions and find out how to break the system. And sometimes,
sometimes it takes time, and sometimes we just can't find the way to repeat the behavior that the players are reporting or is seen on live instances by someone. And the problem with that is when we can't really make the bug happen, it's very hard for us to verify if we really fixed it. So we spend sometimes a lot of time trying to find like a step-by-step instruction to how to break the thing so that we can repair it, and afterwards check that we really repaired it, and then ship the fix to the live instances.
And there are, of course, certain situations when users are, well, employing third-party software
Yes.
or special tools that will do other things than a normal browser and a normal player would do. And this also takes a bit of time to actually understand how this is working, how this is interfering with the normal way the game works. So yeah, our team, QA team, has a lot to do, especially before large features and after large features to really reproduce all the bugs that have been reported. But they're working on that.
Yes.
And we even got a few people from time to time when we need them to strengthen the team for a couple of weeks. So what's the next? Oh yeah, fully equipped ships on test servers. So
Well, I would say that's an interesting thing to think about, but we have an idea, and maybe we are wrong, and that's something that you could correct us on. But the idea is that each time players log in on the test instance, we are giving out a really big login bonus so that players can really like try out new things, or like, I don't know, take a new ship to a galaxy gate and so on. And by that, we are basically looking at receiving the accounts which are at different stage of development, so to say. So when we do release a big feature that touches every player, we are very interested to see how differently developed accounts interact with it. Like, there is an assembly, there are some ores to collect, and there are some ores in the high level NPCs and relatively lower level NPCs, and we are interested to see, okay, there is a guy who comes on the test instance and he doesn't have much except an enormous login bonus, so he starts relatively low and he gives a certain feedback. Hey, from my point of view, there is this. And the other guy who already played a lot of times on the test instance and has some equipment amassed and he has some ships purchased and so on, he plays on a slightly different level, even on test, and submits a different feedback, because from his point of view, there are other things that are working perfectly and other things are broken. So we are basically, we're looking for like a variety of angles. But if we find ourselves in need of testing a specific piece of content or a specific system that is aimed at super high level players, we will obviously try to make sure that people who log in on test have all the appropriate stuff to test it. And generally our policy is to figure out what would you guys need to test the thing that we have put on test, and then give it. Like, if you are testing a new ship, we are giving you enough Iridium to buy it, or just that ship, so you can already start flying it, and maybe some equipment to equip it right away, so there is no time wasted and you can already jump to action. When we're testing something like contact list or assembly, we are more interested in like a general interaction on top of everything else. So we are just giving a lot of Iridium and see how people spend it and what do they do with the system and how do they like it from the standpoint where they are currently.
These login bonuses, how do you determine how much we should give them, give the players? I mean, we had different sessions, and every session the login bonus is like, what was it, 25 million Iridiums and stuff?
Well,
so everyone should be maxed out.
Yeah, it depends on what do we want to test. Like, if we want people to be able to equip a lot of ships, we're probably giving a lot of a bigger bonus, because we know that, okay, you have to purchase all the equipment, you have to purchase all the equipment for several ships and so on. If we are seeing that we want to, like, for ship customization, we know that probably players would like to test how the buying of the ship feels, how the buying of design feels. So we give out like 2.5 million Iridium to make sure that, well, you can buy several ships, you can buy something else. But on the other hand, as I said, we are very interested in players really trying out the system that we put on. So if we give out stuff that players really don't need to test the system that we are testing. We see that sometimes some players tend to get distracted by other stuff and they just don't touch the system that they're looking for. And even if they open the feedback form, they just do all fives or all ones and like
Yes.
think what you want. Like we liked it or we didn't like it, we didn't even see it.
Talking about login bonus and test server and stuff, I just remembered that on that I have to prepare some tiny little bit in advance before we actually can show something. Because on the test server I don't have any on the internal test server I don't have any thingy. What's it called again? Equipment.
Equipment, yes. A lot of things.
A lot of not things.
Yeah.
So how do I get there?
Well, meanwhile, I'll just address a couple of things that I've seen in the chat.
With
Yeah.
I'm terribly sorry. And can you have a look? Maybe switching. Is that better?
Yeah. Well, then I guess this side of the couch is more visible. So, on the topic. So I've seen a few questions regarding with several like exploit bugs submitted to the Monty system, and as we've said, the very often such things do have very vague reproduction instructions, and we spend some time on trying to actually reproduce this behavior and fix it afterwards. So we recently fixed a SEPROM exploit, and I've seen like a thank you in the chat, which is very nice. Thank you for your thank you. We are very pleased that you're happy, but all the other stuff that people were asking why this is not fixed, why this is not fixed. Every issue is on our radar currently, but when we roll out a big system like assembly, and also we had, as you have all witnessed, we had a number of issues on the live instances, and we already talked about it. The development team is mostly focused on fixing the immediate problem to let people access the game and play it normally, and afterwards we turn back to regular process of bug fixing and so on. So there is a lot of stuff happening. There was a lot of stuff happening last week, but again, I can assure you that all these things are visible, and moreover, we look at these reports every week, and there is a process that helps us to prioritize the bugs that we see, and we say, okay, of course, we when we reproduce some exploit or a problem, we go and ask to so that it will be fixed first and with a top priority, because there is York. He hears a lot of outcries from the community. I started talking with players in the test instances in the web in the chat as well. So we hear a lot of concerns, and obviously we want to address everything, but we prioritize the most pressing and the most impactful issues, like you cannot even access the game. That's definitely bigger than anything else. And then we go to the problematic like behaviors and stuff like that. So that's the general strategy. And yeah,
maybe I don't know how far I'm leaning myself out of the window here, but I heard recently that after the two big features like assembly and now ship customization, we want to do a little bit of a more. Yeah, then we have the soccer event, the football championship in June, and we want to focus on like a couple of days, weeks, months on bug fixing.
Let me check my hint list. Yeah, so the current I'm not sure like if we're jumping back and forth, but
I think we do.
You can rewind us and watch everything that you're interested in later. So there is the things that are coming up. Obviously, I've seen some questions about ships, and we'll be showing the ships, and we'll be releasing them basically one by one. That's the current plan. I don't have any dates for you, sadly, guys, because we are working on them as we speak, and we want to make sure that they are in a condition that where we can show them and they work as we intend, so then we can gather feedback, and you would probably point us at something that we have got wrong or something that is not balanced and so on.
And there sadly were a couple of things that just interrupted the work on it.
Well, yeah, obviously, like as you can see, like when we have to go on full force on fixing some bigger issues, we
Naturally
we
wait
naturally
with everything
stall
else.
something else. Yeah, so that's the thing.
But I think that's what everyone should do, and that's I
Yes.
think the proper way to actually work on a game. If something pressing is coming up, work on it and then take care of the features.
Yes.
So compensation for hardest gate rewards. We compensate when the issue is fixed. When we are 100% certain that the issue won't happen again, we run an analysis, and we
Yes.
have all the data stored, even longer than just a couple of days. And then we have a couple people, especially like our new analysis.
Yeah. We basically
analyst.
we can't analyst. We can't we can't compensate in parts. It's just basically for us. It's a bit hard to coordinate the effort, so that we want to focus on fixing the issue first, and then we can collect all the data on everybody who suffered from the issue.
Yeah.
And then we can compensate. The issue is being investigated right now, and I've seen a lot of emails going back and forth, and people going back and forth, and actual work being done. So there is a lot of stuff happening right now, and as we fix the issue, we'll be able to collect the data on people who are eligible for compensation, and then we'll do something definitely for them.
Sounds good. Sounds very good. Now, as there are questions coming in concerning the ship customization issue, I think I will head over and see if I can put the actual game screen
Okay.
out there. And if you have anything, just, how do they say in Hollywood? Make him laugh.
Make him laugh. Okay. Well, I mean, this is all spontaneous. You have to understand that I don't write my jokes in advance. Oh, maybe I should actually.
You should. All right, I'm back. I've
Yeah.
put up the microphone here, and now wish me luck. No,
Good
I don't
luck.
need that.
That's all I can say now.
So where is this thing?
Yeah. So basically, while we are at it, let's just look at what else is coming up. There are questions about, do we punish players for exploiting? And normally, yes, we do. There is a fine line between people who knowingly exploit and people who just, I don't know, stumble upon the bug and really try to get the best of it, and people who accidentally did something. So we want to make sure that if we decide to go out and start punishing people, we punish the right people, because we have seen outcries from players when they were unjustly punished and so on. We will be looking into this issue specifically, and if we find that there are people who really deserve punishment, we will definitely punish them, and we will obviously inform everyone.
So I'm just sorry. Don't be alarmed if things are going to move across your face. Are they?
Okay. So.
Very nice.
Nice.
So let me see. Can I can
Okay.
probably.
Also, now that nobody can see me, I can do anything I like.
Yes. Just do
Awesome.
that. I will now switch to this view. Now, do you see the game?
I do. I'm not sure if people do see the game.
Ye-
But let's
the stuff you see on your screen, it's actually what's going out to the public.
Okay.
That's at least what Flips told me.
Okay. So let's hope that's.
Can you
You
keep
are
me-
not seeing my face now, but you are seeing our ship customization, new ship management interface.
Yes. So let's just start from the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. I have now the confirmation from the chat. Yeah.
Nice,
So
thank you.
just to wrap up the topic, we might come back to this topic specifically, since it's a very interesting topic, as I see, for the people, and I would really like to elaborate on this, and maybe together we can come up with some more effective solutions. But normally I know that our awesome moderator teams work very hard to find exploiters themselves, am I right, Jörg? And they're
Yes,
basically
they do.
working with internal moderator rules to punish specific exploiters that are, in many cases, we ourselves don't have the capacity to look into individual cases, so they are basically handled by our wonderful moderator teams. But if we see, and sometimes we do see a large scale problem, then we obviously address it on a wider scale. But
No.
I think we could talk about this a bit more maybe next time or at some time in the future to see if you are really satisfied with the way we handle this thing, and if we find that there are a lot of people who feel like the exploiters are not punished enough, or I don't know, there is no punishment at all, we can elaborate on how we do that now, and we can see if we can find another ideas to work with it. Like, we want our top priority is to make the game as fair as possible, especially fair for the people who report the bugs instead of exploiting them. That's
Yes.
like the ideal player for us.
That indeed it is. So I'm ready. Actually, it just took me a couple of minutes to find my way around with the software, but now I have the game on the screen. I have the preview on the other screen, and everything's good. So, what should we start? Sergey, you
Yeah.
and Miguel, you designed the system.
Yeah, let's just go to the hangar and let's talk about this a bit.
The hangar. That one. And as you can see, I boosted my account a bit so we can go shopping.
Yeah.
I love shopping sprees.
Okay, so now you see there is a collection of your ships, and the ships that you own are marked with a check mark, and the ships that you don't own marked with a circle. And it's very easy now to navigate the collection. You can look at all the skills of all the ships, you can see all the descriptions, and you can see all the different stats and parameters right here in the same place. And you can even decide to buy something. Like here we have like an Aegis Elite, for instance. We can No, I'm not saying we are buying that one, and maybe you don't need it, but there is a lot of other possibilities that you could basically buy it and so on.
Wait. If I buy it, then I have to buy a new hangar as well?
No, that's one of the cool parts. Like, there are no hangars anymore. You don't have to think about how many hangars you have left and so on. You don't have to think about allocation of the ships, and if you basically find a new ship in a box or something, you don't have to think. It just appears in your collection. You can right away manage it. You can start equipping it and using it however you like. So it's basically now you get a ship, you can fly it right away, you can equip it right away. There are no hangars, no intermediate steps, and you can
the ship warp works as well?
Yeah.
Cool.
So as you can have a lot more ships now, a lot more ships that you own, and you can operate them and so on. We have also introduced a new feature that's called favorite. You can now favorite some of the ships, like mark them with a star,
Right.
and these ships will be always showing on top of your collection, and those ships you can warp in, like normally with the ship warp, and those ships will also show in the hangar change button that is near the hangar.
I see. So
Yeah.
that's the little.
So
golden
that
star
one, that
down
little
there.
star is basically one of your favorite ships. Surgeon is obviously a favorite ship, And so if you mark a few ships with the stars, you will see them in the hangar switch button, and you will see them in ship warp. There is a limit on this, on the amount of favorites you can have. A limit is 10, like to commemorate the 10 hangars which we had. And also some of the game systems like work best with that number. But if we feel that it's not enough, we'll look into that as well. So far, we feel that 10 favorite ships is quite enough. And as you can manage all of them now very easily, we feel that it's very convenient. The other thing is that you can start managing any ship right from that interface, and you can get back to that interface right away by clicking back. That's pretty obvious.
Cool.
But the cool part is that we heard the feedback that people voiced during the open beta, and we have introduced a feature that is called transfer. So you basically can transfer all your equipment from one ship to the other, provided that they are similar, so they have the same number of slots. And we
you mean
have,
like generator slots?
yeah, generator
and,
slots, laser slots, and so on.
Okay.
So basically, if you have a Vengeance and you have a Lightning, you can transfer equipment between them in like 2 or 3 clicks. And if you have any other ship, you can do the same, and you can basically transfer your favorite configuration from ship to ship. Oh wow! But that's why we sometimes look at the reports from test instances, and we can't figure out what was really happening. But what you can also see here is that there is a number of ships which are not available currently, but we already show them so that everybody has a full visibility of what is available in game in principle. What can they get from?
How do we determine that?
So the ships that are in the end of the list here, we marked with blue circle. They are ships that are not available for purchase of any kind, but they can be obtained through specific features. Like this one is one of the rewards in our Friends Invite program, and then there are a few other ships which are rewards from specific galaxy gates, or that can be obtained via specific events.
But now on the test server, almost everything's available, at least to me.
Well, yeah, obviously, but the thing is that on the live instance you will have the number of ships which are only accessible through specific events, and you will immediately see that in this interface. So you will have a full visibility of what ships are out there and where could you possibly find them if they are super rare or something like that. The transfer system we can demonstrate if we go to your diminisher.
We can't.
We can't? Okay.
No, because I first have to go shopping.
Okay, yeah. So while Jörg goes shopping.
You know, Sergey, the thing was just that our QA team has said that this time I should use a different server, a different test server, and I don't have anything there. So, yeah, I'm going to buy a couple of weapons.
Okay. So meanwhile, let me address a few more questions. The pricing for the ships, when you basically press buy button, you are transferred to the shop where you will see the price and everything, because it's not like you press buy, you immediately have it. You will have all the appropriate confirmations, and you will see everything before you make a final decision. The people who bought hangars, well, we are considering this. We are thinking about this. Like, it is always a very tricky part, because we can't stop iterating and making game better and better. And as we make game better and better, in some cases we basically get rid of redundant and impractical or like very not understandable features like hangars. And if we get rid of them, we are always in the situation where we are like, maybe we need to compensate something to the players who spend on them. On the other hand, all the players had the ability to use all these hangars for a very long time, and like, I hear the concern, I understand it. We will think about it, and maybe we'll come up with a plan which will not which will be fair to everyone. The other thing is save configurations button. Well, that is a cool idea, and we are basically considering it. We just decided to go on the rather simple path, allowing people.
What simple?
Well, yeah. So basically, transferring items from ship to ship is very simple, and that's something that we decided to do when we heard a number of people raising concerns. The safe configuration is something that we are definitely looking at, but I guess we will be getting back to you guys if we have any more ideas on that. We need to make sure that it can work properly with everything, and that developing that system will not interfere with all our other plans. The other question is the if you the generator slots of Surgeon. Yeah, I heard this concern several times on the on the forums as well. I've seen it voiced by several players, and we are looking into it, because that was one of the things that we kind of like said, yeah, okay, we can try to deal with this after we get the basic system going. We will see if we can basically make Surgeon available for general transfers between Goliath type ships. But on the other hand, Surgeon is really special. It's one of the most rare and one of the most desired ships in game, and this makes it a bit more special. But again, we hear the concern, and we'll try to figure out if that's possible to start transferring equipment to Surgeon from Goliath-like ships as well, and do it faster than we do. Then we look into the safe configuration thing. The
Actually, I just tried it out, and it works really well. Oh, look. Actually, it works really well.
Okay.
So, as you said, this is the first iteration to make the lives of our players a lot easier. I have to admit that I'm trying it out today for the first time, because it was on different test servers, and I had other things to do. Is there something that you want me to show, or should I just come over?
Well, you could just basically, like, previously you would have a selection of designs in top right corner of the screen.
Mhm.
That would be
Oh, you mean the...
that was top left, but whatever. So that was
Okay.
design selector here. Instead, now you have a transfer button. You click it, you select the ship you want to transfer your equipment to, click transfer, and that's it. So it's
Yes.
as many actions as selecting a design, and you transferred your equipment to another ship. That is
Voila.
super straightforward. Voila, it's done. So the but basically that's the thing. And the other thing I wanted to mention very briefly is that I heard people voicing concerns about the transfers not working for drones and pet, and I believe they should be working for drones and pet now. I've tried it as well today earlier, and it worked for me. So basically our intent is that you transfer everything, including your pet equipment and drone equipment as well. So that should be covered. That concern should be also addressed.
Let's see if that works.
Oh, whoa, you're going to check me live. That's nasty.
I have...
Okay.
Ah!
There, yeah, I see an idea about rewarding people reporting game-breaking bugs. Yeah, again, I mean, we have already talked about this. This is an interesting topic. we need to make sure that we can follow up to the actual like reporter, so we know who did this, and we need to make sure that the report is very clear and we can actually reproduce and fix bugs. But I think we had some cases when we had a very huge issue with bot banning scripts going wild. Back in 2013, we did receive a very generous help of one of our players, and we did reward him. But in general, I mean, doing a more systematic approach would be also fine. There is...
What?
Yeah, so let's try this transfer first, and then we can talk about some more questions that I see in the chat.
So, Goliath.
Now fingers crossed. You don't see me crossing fingers, but I really crossed them. Yes.
It works.
Yes, as I said, we have addressed this as well, and now it works. So the new ships, let me be very clear, guys. We will show you that when we're ready. It will be very soon. It's not going to be like... I don't want to name any dates, but it will be very soon. We'll be showing ships probably one by one. So we'll show one first, and then we'll show another like second. They will be separate ships. They don't depend on Goliath or anything else. Their pricing will be adequate to our newest ship releases. So, as you know, we have lowered the price of a few ships for new ship customization and ship management, so that the better ships, like elite versions of Citadel and so on, are still maybe a bit too expensive. But we have lowered the price on the basic version, so more people can try it. We have tried to price the new ships adequately. We obviously will hear the feedback and look into, like, if we need to address the feedback, we'll look into that as well. We will show that everything. I guess we'll have a Twitch stream about it when there's... Well, yeah, with our wonderful Twitch master, and we'll also have it on beta test, so you can try it out yourself. But that's not happening today. I'm very sorry. It's just not. That's how life works.
Yeah, not today, but I think people understand that our main concern is not on, as I said before, putting out new content as quickly as possible, but to actually address issues that stop people from enjoying the game.
Yeah, let me address one more thing very quickly. I've seen a question about assembly resources in the shop. We are looking into that as well. Like, we heard the requests, and we will probably do that closer to the end of this assembly launch event, so that people who want really to get it via gameplay means, like, by just getting all the resources and having that satisfaction of assembling it, we want to make sure that all the people who want to get it. But also we'll give the chance to people who had no time to play it, or had not, like, couldn't invest that much time as they needed. So we'll also address those people's needs. And
the good thing is, through that, we gather a lot of data. By not putting it in the shop first, we have a chance to gather a lot of data, how drop rates work of the resources, and
how people accumulate the resources. And our main interest is, again, as I said, we have this system now in the first iteration, and we really wanted it to push some boundaries with regards to fairness. Like, there are things that are really available through gameplay. We heard the concerns that some people would rather save some time, and we will address that. We want to make sure that we are fair to people who don't want to spend anything and so on. But
that's the ongoing...
That's basic. Like, that's something that we touch on every Twitch stream. We are looking into the a lot of different concerns with regards to fairness, and we want to make sure that we don't diminish anyone's achievements. We don't undermine anyone's, like, I don't know, satisfaction,
Yeah.
and don't undermine anyone's efforts. On the other hand, we want to get to a point where we are a lot more accessible and more fair, and we really allow people to choose, okay, we want to save some time, or we want to invest more and just do it by game means.
New ship abilities can't show that yet. As we said, the ships are not really 100% done, and so they are still in development. I guess we might be doing this in the next stream.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, like, the thing is that the abilities are really literally, people work on those things right now. They might be watching Twitch stream on the second monitor, but on the first monitor they're working on these abilities. That means that
So we have one person working on the ship abilities of the one ship, then a second person on the second ability, then one person fixing all the bugs, then one. They're busy, huh?
There is a lot of things happening, and once we are ready, and again, it will be fairly soon, and maybe next Twitch stream. I don't want to basically name like a specific date, because once I see that ship flying in my hands, at least, and in the hands of our design team, then I can be a lot more calm and saying, yeah, we're doing this, like, I don't know, at some specific date. But at this point, it's all on the way. It's almost ready. It's almost done. At least one ship is almost done, and we're going to show it. We are probably looking to presenting you with an awesome 3D scene of that ship as well. But that's basically the awesome presentation. Depends on how much time do our artists have. But
The thing with the presentation of the ships is not the biggest issue. I think this time it's code-wise not ready. I mean, the new abilities, like, they work, but they don't work perfectly.
yes.
And
There are few limitations we have to fight with our, like, legacy and so on, but we're doing our best to make sure that it feels right and it gives a nice angle. So our aim with these ships is to make sure that they are they give a certain twist. So basically they change somehow the way you think about how do you engage in PvP and so on.
And they have these cool animations that we have on Sketchfab. You find all the links on our Facebook page. I think we have that on the forums. We have it, I think, even here on the Twitch channel. The Mimesis has already been published,
Yes.
with the wonderful animation. And the Tartarus is to be published this weekend,
Yes.
because we're holding back. No,
Yeah.
it's the animation is ready. We just want to there are a couple of things around that we want to do first, because the guys from Sketchfab have been incredibly generous to us. Some of the features they're using now, they introduced because
Because
we
we
asked for
wanted them. Yeah.
yes, and this is great. Will they be released at the same time? I think.
I think it's an indication that some people tune in late.
Yeah, we stagger that. First chip first, second chip second.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we feel that it's some, like, I mean, as you have seen this week, there is also a universe in which we are living and working, and sometimes things just go not as you plan them. But at the moment, we're thinking about showing you one ship at a time and releasing them afterwards, taking in account the feedback that you gave. So yeah, one and then the other. We want to be sure that we get them right, and obviously there will be some things that we need to fix, and obviously there will be, like, it's not the only things that we plan for this year, so stay tuned. There is a lot of things coming. I've seen one question about crafting LF Force or Hercules in assembly. And I can't really say that right now because, I mean, obviously that is one of the questions that are always on the table. But as I said, we want to make sure that we are very respectful of the achievements and the efforts that many players spent to get these things. On the other hand, we have a lot of different interesting alternatives. Stay tuned and we'll talk about this as well. Yes.
Sergey, sometimes I'm really, really scared about what is going on in your head. Actually,
Honestly, you know, I'm scared myself, so it's all cool.
all right. I think even with that little, with that being
That being said,
losing my language. Now, even with being 10 minutes late, I think we should slowly come to an end for today.
yeah, sure.
We have still other things upstairs in our on our PCs and our inboxes, and we should take care of that as well. But we'll be back in 2 weeks when Flips is back, and I promise I will never let him go again. Or
Well, we just have to learn to use this technology a bit better ourselves. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and see you in 2 weeks. Oh. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, there are two of us, so one of us has to walk all the way back there, switch off the camera. So,
yes,
yeah.
indeed. And from this wonderful place. Oh, look, there's actually a little figure moving down there. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks, Sergey, for all the cool information. And how do I do that?
I don't know. I mean, you should do that now. I already said goodbye like 4 times or something. Goodbye. 5th.